Well, if it isn't Doc Connor, hack detective.
And it doesn't help that there's, well, the other problem.
You think this message is a clue to where your dad might be hiding. And based on the call you got, he might be in danger and needs your help. Does that about sum it up?
Well, it's great to meet you, and the movie looks so much fun, and we're so excited to check it out and show it to our audience especially. So I'm going to just start right off the bat. What makes this movie relevant for like kids and families today?
So I think one of the reasons why we made this movie was because, especially coming out of COVID, we, just as my husband and I, saw the lack of content that there was for our kids. We have 4 of them. And at the time it was like 8 to like 16, I think. And there just wasn't any content out there that was safe for them to watch. It just seemed like more and more there was like an agenda creep into the content that our younger ones were watching, and a lot of the stuff that my older ones could potentially watch had other kind of content in there that we weren't comfortable with watching, with having them watch, much less enjoying with them. And as filmmakers and people who love movies, that was something that we did growing up, right? You go to the movies with your parents, you watch a movie on a Friday night or a Saturday night with your parents, and it's like a shared experience that really bonds you. And it was just getting harder and harder to find the content to watch with our family or let our kids watch. And so there was a point in time where Andy and I just kind of looked at each other and was like, I think we just have to go out and make it. We already had the series. I don't know if you're familiar with Doc Connor, the series. And so it was one of those really easy jumping off points because we'd left that as a cliffhanger to answer that cliffhanger and just turn it into a movie. And then it was almost like God was just opening it up with the strikes and how everything was happening. Movies we saw, there weren't going to be a lot of them in 2025. And we really thought in a strategic way, this was such an opening for film, and family film specifically, because that didn't seem to be something that Hollywood seemed interested in creating. And so that's one of the reasons why we made the film, but also it's relevant because we wanted it just to be a fun family film that people could watch together and they didn't need to worry about the content that was in it.
That's amazing. Yeah, and then the series, so like coming out with a movie, was that in the plan all along? Or is this kind of like a new, like, oh, this is a great opportunity, we can do this now?
You know, we made the series, and it was something that like we developed very early on in our with our production company, and we had every intention on starting a season 2, hence it being called season 1 for a while. And it was so hard to find partners who would come alongside and just help us get to a season 2, especially just with the quality that we wanted to make season 2 with. And so it almost was like this coinciding of we wanted to make season 2, and this was the opportunity by doing it as a movie instead. But it's not the content. Like we had season 2 completely different kind of map out, like different way that we were going to be doing things and stuff like that, and different episodes. And so we just kind of like scrapped that and moved on to like what would make an entertaining movie.
That's awesome. And it's cool to be able to do it in a theater setting. Like that's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Again, I think families just want to go to an entertaining movie. And so, especially like you get to do that together, right? You get to laugh with other people and have that, like, it's one of those things, like, it's so quotable. Like, our family has watched it a lot. We do a lot of like family QC checks together and like we quote it to each other. And so I think it's fun when you get to quote a movie with your family and with your friends. And so I really do hope it's really going to be something that like people can quote at each other and wear a t-shirt that says, you know, something on there. And they're like, I know that's from Doc Connor. And
that's
like,
great.
You know, like strangers meet and now like they're best friends because they both watched Doc Connor.
The high school scene, I feel like never changes for every generation. You got the same type of people. You got your emo kids, your jocks, you know, the different kids. How do you go about like portraying those different themes and different characters in a movie about high schoolers?
Yeah, I mean, it is easy just to go straight into like the stereotype and just make it easy for everybody to understand like where everybody stands. I think for Dot, she's kind of a little bit of an old soul in some ways, you know, and so she really doesn't embody any of the stereotypes. Yeah, she does love science, and she just doesn't want to be teased, and she wants to be like respected like most kids and people do, right? So it was more like, and I know that when Andy was the writer, when Andy wrote it, it was definitely like Ethan's character was just kind of the jokes that Andy really enjoyed. And the movie quotes and how, Ethan kind of sees the world is definitely like how Andy would interact with somebody in any situation.
And so how do you balance your different story elements to appeal to both kids and their parents?
Oh, well, you know, I think we all want to be entertained, right? And there's some like dad jokes, right? Dads find dad jokes great. Kids find dad jokes pretty great too. And so it's like, I mean, you can't make a movie about all of it being a dad joke, but it's like, you know, there's a lot of humor that like can transcend from kids to adults. It translates. And so, I think it's for me when somebody's writing like an easy joke, right? Like some of that lower brow humor. It's one of those things where it's like, well, that was an easy joke, you know? But if you want to appeal to everybody, you kind of have to go a little more highbrow, you know? You have to you can't just go the easy way with certain humor. And so it really is kind of like it's an art. Writing really is an art, and I think Andy did a great job of making it funny for kids and also adults enjoying that, you know, that chuckle. So I think especially like in the movie, like Ethan has a lot of quotes that adults will love. You know, there's some Arnold Schwarzenegger and there's some others that like we as adults who love movies would totally get.
And then this being faith-based, how do you balance the elements of, you got action, you got espionage and comedy. How do you balance all that with the faith elements without any one of those things kind of getting drowned out?
You know, it's one of those, I think one of our best examples of, you can her character is a Christian. She's somebody who loves Christ. And so we don't have to contrive anything in what she does if it is, as an actor would say, you know, it comes out of the honesty of the moment. This is who she is. And it's one of those things, like if you even think back to like Indiana Jones, right? Like the Nazis are looking for like Christian artifacts, right? They're looking for the Ark of the Covenant, and nobody's like denying that it doesn't exist, and nobody's saying that like God's power isn't like manifest in this object. Like it is recognized in this world and stated as fact. And so if Dot's world starts from the very foundation as God is real and she turns to him for her help, it's very easy to bring that through the world and through her character and where she would turn to for help and stuff in situations. And so I think it was done so interwoven so well. And especially like we have a wonderful grandmother character in the movie, and she just talks with such wisdom about God's word. And I just think it's such a sweet moment. I just want to, I've talked to a number of grandmothers who feel like they don't honestly get a lot of representation in film or literature. Not near enough. They don't get to the exciting thing. And so I really love that Dot Connor, we keep the family unit at the center. The dad is the hero, but the grandma has such a significant part of speaking truth into Dot's life. And it's really something that grandparents can really cherish and be like she's so important. She has such wisdom to impart to Dot, and it's such a sweet moment. And so again, if you just keep her world center as God, it's going to naturally come out in what she does. Yeah.
Is there one scene in particular you guys are extra proud about that you think parents and families will be talking about as they leave the theater?
Oh, well, we had our premiere last night. for the cast and crew and the people here in Nashville. And I think everybody, when you ask them what their favorite scene is, they all say the scooter chase. It's just it's in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. Like, that really was like a really fun scene to not just like do. And we got to shut down the street in Nashville, like downtown Nashville. It's not like it was like easy. And we got to like do that all day. And it was just so much fun. I think everybody had a really, really great time with it. I think everybody, like, it's one of those moments where on a film set, yes, the actors are doing their job as an actor, right? And the director and all that. But it's where like the cinematographer really gets to shine, and the gaffing department. Like, it's where everybody comes together and makes this really cool scene. And so we enjoyed it as a cast and crew, and obviously the families, as they walked away, really enjoyed it. And we made it exciting and funny all at the same time.
What do you hope parents will walk away with from this ultimately, like the whole overall message of the movie?
For the parents, I think I'm going to start with the kids first.
Okay.
And when the kids, like after one of our screenings that we had at a church, the kids coming out of that screening, I think one of the most significant quotes that I heard was this little girl, and she was like, "It's a movie for me.
Oh,
like,
wow.
It's my movie." And like, and like, I knew that I wanted to make good content for families. I wanted a movie for my family. And that's really what drives why we did it. But to see her do that and realize that she didn't have a movie that is her own. She doesn't have a movie that she can kind of go and escape to a little bit, that we can say, "Oh, that's my best friend, Doc Connor, like, I want to be like her, or I want to have a friend like her." She had that movie, and I see that time and time again now when I see these little girls leave the theater. They found a best friend in Dot, and a girl that they don't need to worry about the content that she is saying. Her parents approve of it. She's smart. She's funny. She sometimes makes mistakes, but she owns up to it. Like, it's the kind of person that you want to be, and the kind of person that you want to be your friend. And so it was such an honor to create that character for little girls across America to have as a best friend. And I didn't realize that was something that they lacked in content, but it's so true. But also, when parents get to see this movie, they kind of can sit back and relax and go, "Finally a movie I can trust." Like, sometimes when you don't really know a movie that well, you kind of go, where's this gonna, so you don't really get to sit back and enjoy the movie. And so I really, I want people to know that they can, enjoy the content that Andy and I made. You can go see the series, know what it's about, know the high quality production value that we put into things, and the good writing. And you can go to this movie and enjoy it and trust it together with your family. And so that's really what we want for families, for sure, to walk away from and go, "That was a movie that we all enjoyed, that we can trust, that we can put on for our kids, and know nothing is going to be emulated that you don't want repeated in your home."
That's awesome. I'm excited to show it to my girls later down the road.
Yeah, yay!
What's the release date, and when's it coming out?
Yeah, so it's coming out September 19th, and it's a limited release, but we're trying to get it to as many theaters as possible. And it's one of those things where, it's exciting because more and more people who watch it, they're like, "We love it," right? And so, but it is kind of in America's hands. Like, you got to request it so that the theaters know you want it, and then our booker will go and do his magic and get it into the theaters. So you can go to www.docconnor.com/movie, and you can fill out one of those forms, and you can say if you want to do it, or if you want to bring a group, which I think it's great for homeschoolers. Because Friday, I was a homeschool mom. I also kind of made this for the homeschoolers, and my husband was a homeschooler too. So low key, homeschoolers are gonna love this. But Friday, we would go to the park. Or if it rained, we would go to a group movie. And so it's Fridays you can go with your homeschool group, go check out this movie together. It'd be a fun thing. Finally a movie for homeschoolers, maybe, is what we need to say. But you could that. And then we have a lot of church groups that are already interested. So if you're in charge of a group that obviously speaks volumes, but just fill it out and let our booker know where we can send this movie.
Whatever happens, I know I have the best web detective on the case.
Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And if you want more content like this, head over to movieguide.org. Movieguide is a nonprofit organization, and we are supported every day by viewers like you.